blisscipline for me, I was into having blissciplines even before daily fun became my blisscipline. But blisscipline for me are those habits that I have to do every day that makes my life one of bliss, that makes life peaceful and joyful on a regular basis. But it's a practice. And just like when I go and I work out, I don't necessarily feel like going to the gym before I do that, or I feel like having a workout before, but afterwards I'm always so happy. So these are the things that keep me in bliss.
Welcome to the Fun and Bliss Show,
where fun is our practice
and bliss is our lifestyle.
I'm Monique.
And I'm Moneeka.
This is a show to help you laugh louder,
dance more often,
savor the silly and sacred alike,
and turn fun into a blisscipline,
so we can live lives of more ease, love, prosperity, and joy.
Let's go!
Hi, I'm Monique. I am the author of the forthcoming book, Fun is the Way.
I can't wait to read that, Monique. I am Moneeka, everybody, and I am the producer of two upcoming films, one called The Christmas Rescue and one called Choose Bliss, after my book, Choose Bliss.
And we are the co-founders of this show, the Fun and Bliss Show, where we practice fun as a blisscipline.
Yay!
Bliss, to create bliss as a lifestyle. So welcome.
So, Monique, tell us what you did for fun today.
So, for fun today, I haven't really had my fun today, but I can tell you what I did for fun yesterday.
Go ahead.
So yesterday, I had a lot of fun with AI. I created what everybody else seems to be doing on Facebook, which is creating an AI caricature. I was having fun creating an AI song for this show called Fun is the Way. I was having fun working on a novel with AI that's a mixture of Bridgerton meets Groundhog's Day. And I did a video about my book. There was so much fun, like creative fun. So I had a lot of fun with AI. And that was me. How about you? What are you doing? Or what did you do for fun?
Yeah, so I feel like we're the same person sometimes. So I was on Facebook at like midnight. So that was today, just to be clear, that was today. And I saw your cute caricature and your big wide eyes and that huge smile, and it completely cracked me up. And I was like, oh, I want to do this. So I put mine in. Did you see mine? Mine is like Blissfire, like. So ChatGPT is like, so do we want to make you a superhero? What would you like your superhero name to be? So I became Blissfire. Then my dog became Spark, the joy initiator, or joy injector, whatever they call it, like whatever. It was so cute and so funny. So then ChatGPT says, would you like me to write a book? And I was like, why not? And so I don't know, it was so addicting, but it was so much fun. I just finally fell asleep just with this huge grin on my face and woke up feeling the same way. So it's lovely. Yeah, you completely inspired me.
I'm so glad. Likewise, you were inspiring me with the AI songs.
Yeah. Wait, you guys, so you hear the song. We're going to play it.
Yeah, well, we'll have that for the end of the show. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun. So everybody, we are going to do something a little bit different today. We want to interview Monique and talk about her adventure into fun. She is one of the funnest people I know, but there's also been a journey for her. And today I want to talk to Monique about that and turn over the stage to her so she can talk much more than me. Anyways, so Monique, let's get started with that. So you talk about fun not as a bonus or a luxury, but as a blisscipline, which I absolutely love.
Yes.
And it's a practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that feels rich with intention. Could you tell us a little bit about what that means from your perspective?
Yeah. So blisscipline for me, I was into having blissciplines even before daily fun became my blisscipline. But blisscipline for me are those habits that I have to do every day that makes my life one of bliss, that makes life peaceful and joyful on a regular basis. That helps me keep my equilibrium, keep my
I call it
joy.
the bliss equilibrium,
The
actually.
bliss equilibrium,
The
exactly.
bliss equilibrium. Yep.
So but it's a practice. And just like when I go and I work out, I don't necessarily feel like going to the gym before I do that, or I feel like having a workout before, but afterwards I'm always so happy. So these are the things that keep me in bliss. And when I started to do fun as a daily practice, it came as a sort of birthday dare that I gave to myself, or somebody had asked me, what do I want to do for this big milestone birthday, which happened to be the 15th anniversary of my 35th birthday.
So we
I,
did 15 plus 35, and that's
yeah,
how
well,
we got the number of
I'm,
days.
I'm 35 forever, so, but it was, yeah, so that has been the 15th time I'd been turning 35 again. And so I decided to do 50 days of fun, which I thought would just be cute. It'd be cute. It'd be fun. It'd be silly. It'd be whatever. And by day 46 of reaching for fun every single day, I realized that I was falling so deeply in love with my life that I didn't want to stop at 50. So I decided I would do 365 days. And my fun anniversary was August 13th. And then I said I would do 500 days. And my 500th day was Christmas Eve. And I'm still doing it every day because when I reach for fun every day, it really creates a life of bliss. It really just supercharges my day and makes, and not just my day, supercharges my life and makes my life one of joy and play and incredible creativity.
Yeah, I love that. So when I wrote my book, Choose Bliss, one of the chapters was called Play is the Way. So, and I think that's why we connect so much because it is truly the funnest blisscipline.
Yes.
It's a big part of both of our lives. So I love how you started that. So I know there must have been a moment for you, Monique, where you're like, oh, I'm going to do this 50 days of fun for my 35th birthday again. And there must have been a part where like you had to move forward before your brain could say, no, don't do that. You don't have the time for that, or whatever the excuses are, right? Could you talk to us about that whole thing? Like, how did you move past the self-talk of don't do that thing? That's
Yeah.
fun.
So I said I would share on Facebook every day as a way to have some commitment, accountability.
Right.
And there was this sense there's always the voice, right? So one of the voices was that's going to look silly. That there's a lot of really important, serious things going on in the world, and who are you to do fun every day? All right, so there's that voice, and there was other voices like there are more important things to think about and focus on. But for a long time, I've been a student of pleasure, daily pleasure. And I'd been over 20 years where I knew about the power of pleasure for women. So I had that voice and I knew that when I tapped into pleasure, it really transformed my life. I know for women, it doesn't help to muscle through. For us, we need to pleasure through. So I had already had a pleasure practice. Fun really shifted that, and I can talk about that more. But also, I saw in myself that when I reached for fun every day, it transformed my life. It made life better. And I feel that everybody can benefit from it. And I was hoping other people would take that as permission for themselves. So I just went ahead and did it. I told that voice to shut the F up and I just kept going.
Well, I think one of the best ways to lead is to model. Like we can teach, we can talk, we can have a podcast that's super fun. But the reality is that people are going to follow what we model. And so you're such a beautiful model of what having fun every single day looks like. So I commend you for doing that, telling your voice to shut the F up and let's go have fun. And it's been fun to be on that journey with you. You say something in your upcoming book that I think is so powerful and it's so counterintuitive. When we think about play, what do we think about the opposite? I'm not asking you, Monique. I'm asking our listeners, what do you think of as the opposite of play? So I have all sorts of different ideas of what that might be, right? Maybe it's work, maybe it's drudgery, maybe it's chores or obligations or responsibilities, right? But Monique, in her book, she introduces the idea that the opposite of play isn't any of those things. It is, in fact, depression. So, Monique, that is so powerful. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, and I'm blanking right now on the researcher who found this. So this isn't my idea, but there's a research study, and they found that when people who were depressed just didn't have play. And so they found that that is the opposite. And play is one of our fundamental human needs. So we need shelter and food and love, but play is something that we all need. But for many, many people, once they get out of childhood, they stop playing. And everyone wonders why we have this epidemic of depression and addiction and rage among people. And I think a big part of that is because we're not playing enough. We're not being playful. There's a book called The Power of Fun by Catherine Price, and she defines fun as the intersection of playfulness, connection, and flow.
Mm.
And when you have all those things, that's true fun. When I've been doing my daily fun, I need to have at least two of those three. When it's three, it's really awesome. That's really magical. But at least two is very fueling. And so it's not numbing out. So a lot of people think that they're having fun. It's their leisure, but what they're really doing is numbing. They're binge watching Netflix, or they're drinking, or they're doing other things that numb them out as opposed to bringing them alive. And fun, when you're reaching for it, it is very enlivening, and it is the very opposite of depression. It brings you fully alive, fully yourself.
I love that. We talk a lot about on this show about bliss and living a blissful life. And a lot of people have ideas of what that looks like, right? There's these idealized images. Maybe it's, sitting on a beach with your eyes closed going right? There's all these ideas of what bliss is. What is bliss for you? What is a real blissful life in everyday terms look like for you?
Yeah, I love that. So I'd looked this up because I wanted to know what's the difference between joy or happiness and bliss. And you talk about that a lot, but those happiness, joy, they're wonderful, they're states, but they are fleeting. And I think for me, bliss is that equilibrium. That's where you live. It's a
Hmm.
it's a state of being where regardless of what's happening on the outside, there's always this sense of peace, this sense of, just kind of this internal sense of joy, seeing what's good in the world, regardless of what is happening. So that for me is what bliss is. And fun just really taps me right into that.
Yeah. I like to talk about the bliss equilibrium. That's like our emotional home where we come home to all the time.
Yeah.
And I like to say that it makes us predisposed to see the world from those joyful filters, so that even when things are going wrong, right,
Yeah.
that we see them from this predisposed filter of let's look for what's right. And you don't even consciously do it most of the time when you're in that real bliss state. And I love how you have adapted that to your own life long before you met me, and how fun really invigorates that. Because that conversation about bliss can sometimes feel like it is very meditative and peaceful. And we have to talk in a very therapeutic voice, but it's not. It can be, it's so much fun. Now, living a blissful life is really fun. And I love how you really emphasize that.
Yes. So
I
I find that fun is a part of bliss. Like it's a part of pleasure.
that's right.
And so you can have this blissful life that's not fun. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Like it can be, you can have that sort of peace in the home and 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 it's a
Absolutely.
little more static. It's not as enlivening. It's not as alive. It's not as playful and connecting. And so I think fun definitely creates bliss, and it's a very alive and energized version of it.
Version of it. And I
Yeah.
think that's, and as people are listening, I mean, people are not going to listen to this show if they're not interested in that being alive and that fun. But the reality is that we define bliss for ourselves.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, bliss is being calm and peaceful and everything is really stable.
Yeah.
For me, I really like the emotional journeys up and down. They make me feel fully alive. I don't like drama. But I do like to feel everything that is happening in my life. I like to be fully alive. And there are a lot of people that's just exhausting. They don't want to do that. We each have different personalities and different desires and different feelings of what feels blissful. That's
Yeah.
also true for fun, right?
Yes.
So yeah. But fun in itself, the word conjures up this feeling of being alive, being engaged and active in this act of living a blissful life.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
people can have fun that's calm, right? So fun can be, so yesterday's fun, right, that I was talking about, that was me on a computer, right?
right.
That was me playing with chat. And it was playful and it was creative. And I felt a sense of connection, even though it was with this artificial intelligence. And there was a flow state as part of that. So it was fun. But on the outside, it looked pretty calm. It's not necessarily I'm skydiving or
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
like,
Or dancing or
yeah.
whatever.
So
Yeah.
it can be different things for different people. And some of the things that I think are so fun, other people would find it miserable, right? And vice versa.
Yes.
So
Like your 5 o'clock morning walks,
yes,
right?
I
You
wake up
love
at
them. And
5
I'm like,
a.m.
it was actually interesting because Monique and I roomed together for an event once. She was seriously like, we're up talking till 11 o'clock at night. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, she's up. She's like, I wake up at 8 o'clock. She's already worked out, showered, had 2 meetings. I'm like, whoa.
I've meditated. Yeah, I've worked out.
Meditated, had a conversation with her sweet husband. I'm like, oh, hello. So really, all of us are different. And just keep that in mind as we continue to have this conversation through all of our shows, is that this is going to look different for you. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we can inspire you into some of the things that we love. But really, this is about you and it's about self-examination and what is fun and blissful for you. And we just want to help you to get there.
Yes.
So, Monique, you mentioned pleasure. So, I want to do a little bit of a deep dive on pleasure. So, pleasure versus fun. You've said that fun feels like pleasure's wild cousin. Can you talk
Yeah.
more about our wild cousin and all of that stuff?
Yeah, maybe it's not even the wild cousin as much as it's the wild child. Because fun is part of pleasure, right? Fun is very pleasurable. And you can have pleasure that is very calm. Right? So it may not necessarily be fun to have a bubble bath, but it could be very pleasurable.
Yeah.
It could be very pleasurable to savor your food, right? To eat something and savor it, and and there's that delicious, like there's a lot of pleasure in that. And it's not necessarily fun in the sense of playful and connecting and flowing in that way. So pleasure is a wonderful tool, and fun is a part of that, just like fun is a part of bliss. So for so many years, I was a student of pleasure. I was a teacher of pleasure. I brought a pleasure path into real estate investing and money. So I'm all about pleasure and having a daily dose of pleasure was one of my blissciplines. But when I made it fun, it just added this intensity, this, I don't know, it just made me fall much more deeply in love with my life. And I already had a really good life, but it added a whole different layer of aliveness, of energy, of joy that I hadn't experienced before when I connected to having fun every day. And that's what I became really passionate about helping more people experience.
Yeah. When we talk about bliss, so much of bliss is about pleasure, but it's like seeing the view of life as a pleasurable experience, right? It's having that filter of
Yes.
pleasure, like finding pleasure in all the different moments, creating pleasure. And fun is a different way of having that pleasure, right? Again, but it does feel more enlivening. I will say that with pleasure, and this is one of the things that you and I have talked about and share and sort of our opinions about life, is that savoring those moments is priceless. But when you also add fun and laughter and joy, even in all of those moments of peace and contentment and pleasure and connection, you add those little sparks of fun, it really enlivens the experience. So I love that. You and I are high achievers, and many of the women that we have coached, you through both of us through real estate, a lot of the women are like, really? This is the conversation? I don't have time for that. And I love they leave your sessions with, oh, I think I'm going to do that. But and mine too. But a lot of people that are listening to us right now are going to be thinking, I don't have the time for fun. So how do you respond to that?
Yeah. Fun doesn't need to take a lot of time. It's a choice, it's a filter that you can add
Mhm.
to what you're already doing. You can do something uniquely just for fun, right? So during my in my daily dose of fun, I might do something unique that I wouldn't have otherwise done. I might go to that party or that game or do it or dance or paint a painting or do something that I wouldn't otherwise be doing. And that's fun. But I have this amazing little thing called a 30-second dance party. Press this button, you get 30 seconds of electronic dance music. This German voice says 30-second dance party. And then that's like the music comes on. It's so fun, especially when you get other people to join you. So I'll get my family to, because like, okay, we're gonna have a 30-second dance party. So for 30 seconds, we're dancing like cuckoos. And that's super fun. Tell me you don't have 30 seconds, right? Anybody can just go find some music on Spotify or put on that song that you love, 30 seconds or the whole length of a song if you want to be crazy. But just that little bit can be a game changer for the day. So we always have time to find that. But you can also, this is such a great hack for life, is that thing that's serious that you don't otherwise want to do. How can you add fun to that experience, right? If you're up to, there's the dishes are dirty. Can you put on your favorite music? Can you put on a tiara or a tutu? I have a light up tutu. I love, and just what can you do? Can you bring the kids or the spouse or, who can you bring along to that party with you? How can you make it into a party? How can you make it into a game? How can I was not a fan of commuting, but I had this long commute and I found like really racy, delicious romance novel to listen to while I was driving, right? And then the drive couldn't have been like I like get there and I want to stay in the car because I was like, oh, let me just finish this chapter. This is so good, right? So like, how can you make what you're already doing fun and it's more interesting, more playful, right? So you can always find that time, and it's just a decision. And when you're doing something that is very serious, and you can add some playfulness, you can add some fun, can add some joy, it changes everything for you and the people around you.
Yeah. And in your book, you talk about the opposite of I don't have time. Like it's not that it takes time. You can actually create, it can actually help you to create more time. So talk about that.
Yeah. So the concept of flow, which is one of those pieces of fun, that's when you're doing something and time seems to stand still when you're in flow. And so when you are in fun, you invite in that flow state, and then you can do a lot in time, like you that all of time kind of disappears. So it feels like it creates time, and that's it's just this game changer. It makes you more present. It brings you into this now moment, and you can get a lot done. You're a lot more creative, and you get out of doing whatever you're doing when it's fun, and you have so much more energy for everything else as well. So that's how it creates time for you.
Hmm. I think that energy piece is huge. You know, so much of the time we kind of go through the day and we're like, oh, so tired. But if you've integrated that filter of fun, it doesn't deplete you. Instead, it nourishes you,
Yeah.
right? And the more energy you have, the more you can get done. So it's, you know, it's kind of circular for those of us that are overachievers, you know. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, in your book, you talk about one of your practical frameworks, which is the 25-second experiment. Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah, so it's just like taking that little bit of time to think about how do you bring in that fun, right? It's like, how can I just taking in before you're getting into an activity. So as you're entering in a new activity, taking a 20-second break to go, how do I add in the fun to this? And then adding that piece because it's can be such a little micro shift in how you show up. Maybe I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna share like the silliest joke I've heard, right?
Hmm.
Or how can you, or I'm just going to come in and shake my butt like and dance around and be silly. How can you add in an element of playfulness or fun or flow or connection? Sometimes that happens to be silly, but it's like, how can I connect really deeply with the people I'm about to interact with in a way that's like unusual? I'm going to ask them a question that's like super deep, but it's kind of it's sort of fun, but we'll get past the talk of weather or sports, right? And we get to
Right.
like a really powerful conversation. Whatever's fun for you, but just taking that little 25-second pause to do that.
So there are things in life that are just not fun. You know,
True.
I mean, they're just, I think they're just are, right? Even as a bliss practitioner from since I was 16, like there are just things that are not fun. We have to do them. You know, that's kind of the part of living a really big, beautiful, fun, blissful life is that some of these things that we have to do are not super fun. What do you, I have a strategy around that, but I want to hear your strategy around those things that are just like, no, I took my 25 seconds. There's really nothing I can make fun about this. We're just going to do it because there is something on the other side. But talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Um, I I've had a hard time finding something I couldn't add fun to,
Hmm.
actually. So, and that's from funerals where
Hmm.
I had to go to a friend's funeral, and I was like, how can I add fun to this? Like he was a fun guy. He was a rock photographer. He took pictures of all these rock stars, and it's like I'm gonna go to this funeral and I am going to connect deeply. And I went around and I was like we were sharing fun stories about this guy and laughing and connecting. And it was bittersweet, but I was able to find that connection and playfulness and just thinking about the playful, because he was a quirky guy. He was hilarious. But just, in thinking about him. Yesterday, my mom was in the hospital. Not fun, but I showed up wearing my You Are Enough sweatshirt that in the back
Hmm.
says, um, Dear person behind me, the world's a better place because you're in it, love the person in front of you, which I love walking around in that. It's like I'm walking around as loving kindness, and I people tend to comment on that. Oh, thank you for that. That, I love your shirt, your sweatshirt, and it's a bit of connection. And so it's like, okay, I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna wear this thing, right? That helps me have a connection with other people, and so I think, like, how can I just up level this experience just a little bit, like that commuting or the
What about like
parking.
entering stuff into a spreadsheet or
Yeah,
doing
so
putting together taxes or dealing
taxes.
with all your corporate stuff or
Yeah.
someone suing you or all of those things, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
there's rough stuff that happens in life and I think we need a realistic view of
Yep.
how we make those shifts because you're an expert and so you're really good at it. But the rest, people that are listening are not so much. So there
Yeah.
are definitely moments that suck,
Do you
that
want to
we
know
can't
how I do
help, as
that?
you
How
said.
I would do
Yeah.
that? Because I have had to deal with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
lawsuit, unfortunately, and all this stuff. So spreadsheets, that's the fun music, right? Or
Yeah.
I co-work with people. So I have some people, it's like, okay, I have to do this thing. It's not so fun, but we're going to meet on Zoom and we're going to get together for 2 hours to work on this thing. And at the end, we have a dance party. So
Okay.
I have like regular times during the
Mhm.
week where I have this kind of, I need to work on this thing that I otherwise would be very painful to do, but I'm going to do it. And you're going to be there and I'm going to be there. And then at the end, we dance it out. So that's how I deal with like that not as fun work, but that has to be
Mhm.
done. And I'm doing it with friends, even though we're
Mhm.
like just like parallel working on Zoom together. With lawsuits, how do I do that? So I like preparing going in. I definitely dance before. I do a lot of meditating beforehand, and I send love. I was sending love to everybody involved. I don't know if that's fun necessarily, but like energetically, I prepare the way. I invite in my angels, their angels to come in, right? So it's like, so I'll do a lot of energetic work in preparation for that. So it's not a heavy, awful experience. I might wear like super silly underwear or sometimes I wear no underwear. Have a panty free day, right? Like panty free, like when you really need some juice. So nobody else needs to know that, but there are ways always. I
Yeah.
find, but it takes some just deliberate. Okay, there is a way to up level this experience for myself and others involved. What can I do? Right?
Yeah.
So that's how, it's like
Interesting.
music. Yeah.
I won't give it that much energy. I just basically, I'm like, okay, gotta do this thing. I'm gonna have fun on the other side of it because for me, I want to preserve that energy for the actual fun moment. So it's interesting. And that's the thing. We can do this any way that we want to do this, right?
Yeah.
Again, each of us are going to do different things. So that's really
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Because I know both of us have been through some rough stuff. And so how do we get to the other side, to the fun and the bliss? To live our joys and our lives in that
Yeah,
way.
and not everything is fun all the time, right? So
Yes.
I just like for me, the blisscipline is to have at least one fun moment that I presence during the day, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean everything has to be fun. But the more you can think about how do I make this fun, especially the things you're like dreading and they're
Yeah.
really dreary and like, ugh, I don't want to do that. And then you think, oh, how could I make this actually fun? Then that helps. And also those things that are super not fun, maybe you don't have to do them. Like, can you delegate? The best money I spend every week is for my cleaning lady to come in and clean the house
Ditto.
because it's
Absolutely.
fun for me. And I
Yeah.
could like put on music while I scrub the toilet, or I could have some money. She can do it,
Absolutely.
and I
Yeah.
don't have to. And that is like super fun for me. That is the best money I spend, period. That's it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not one penny that's better spent than like me not having to scrub the toilet. So I and So sometimes you don't have to do the thing, and that's fun too.
Yeah. And that is fun. And I do that same thing too, right? Someone takes care of the laundry, someone takes, all of those things, someone cleans my house.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so nice that you mentioned the, sort of everybody's on Zoom, you got a couple of hours, you've blocked out this time, you're going to work on a particular project, and then you have a dance party afterwards. I used to dread doing all my book work and everything to get it to my tax consultant. Now I do it with a friend. And it is so much more fun, right?
So
Because we
much
eat
more
chocolate and we're like, wow, we got fun. Like it is, there are definitely ways, even things that I completely dread. But there are things also that are not going to be fun, and that's okay. And I kind of wanted to ground that, right? It's okay if everything in life is not fun. That's okay. Because you can get to the other side and you can, like Monique says, have the fun that you're present to, enjoy that, milk it for all it's worth. But everything in life doesn't have to be fun. You don't have to spend all that energy to try to make everything fun. And if everything isn't fun, you're not doing something wrong.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes that's how life is, right?
Doesn't have to
So
be 24/7 fun.
no, it's not 24/7 fun.
Yes.
Can you tell us what this is and how recording tiny moments of delight can help dissolve the fear of judgment and build what you call silly armor?
So as you're going through, and I don't know if it's silly, it's like an armor that allows you to get over anybody else's judgment, right? It's the I don't care. It's through doing those silly things, especially the silly, because a lot of us are so worried about what other people think of
Think.
us, right? And when you go and deliberately do things that are silly, so I'll give a couple examples. So one of the things that I did was I dressed up like a superhero to go to the supermarket. And I had this Robin, like Batman Robin, Robin costume with like fake muscles. And it was not Halloween, it was April. So I just put it on and I went to the supermarket and I just did my thing, dressed like a superhero. And people were smiling and it was ridiculous. And I realized I don't care what people think. It's like it didn't matter that I looked, that I might look ridiculous. And if anybody was judging me, I'm like, that's on them. But I had fun. I found it made me laugh. It made other people laugh. And so that like just the practice of doing things. So I often will show up with silly costumes. I have my unicorn onesie, or I'll wear cat ears or a tiara, or just different things. My light up tutu, right? And so as I'm doing those things that are kind of silly, and then I go out in the world and I realize that even if people are judging me, it really does not matter. I don't care. And so that kind of creates this armor that then you care less and less about being judged. And so that's the silly armor and it allows you to be more and more yourself.
I love that.
Yes.
Talk to us a little bit about this concept that you introduce again in your book, and you've already talked about this on the show a little bit, that fun isn't just about moments, it also connects you with clarity and even prosperity. One of the things I just want to add in there is that for both of us in our real estate businesses, including the fun, including the bliss, has been a big reason for the massive growth that we've both experienced in our businesses. So help our audience to understand sort of how that works.
Yeah. I think, and I don't fully know the how of it.
Mm-hmm.
My suspicion is that it's connected to quantum physics and the energy that you're putting out. And when you are doing things at the frequency of fun, at the frequency of playfulness, connection, and flow, you're opening yourself up to universal flow, to magical connections, to things feeling really good and really playful. And as we lean into this, then opportunities happen. And I'll share something that just happened for me recently. So, for a long time, I have been teaching women how to invest in real estate, which in a lot of ways I loved, but it was not as fun for me as doing this Fun and Bliss. And it stopped feeling as fun. And I kept thinking, but I have to keep working on this because I want to be able to sell this business. And so I'm going to do that and build it up and sell. And it was feeling heavy. And I finally hit this point where I said, it's not fun. I'm done. So I'm done. And it doesn't matter if I sell this business or not. I don't have energy for things that are not fun anymore. It's too much. So I just let it go. And the next day, I was on a conversation with somebody and I was mentioning that, yeah, I'm closing this business. She said, oh, I think I know somebody who want to buy that business, maybe. Would you be open to that conversation? I was like, yeah, I would be. And now there's like three people that have shown up who could actually buy different pieces of the business. And it's very win-win and it's fun for all of us. And all of this came out as soon as I just let go of, okay, I'm going to have to work hard and struggle and hustle to like get this to a place. And instead I went, no, it's not fun. I'm letting it go. And then all of a sudden the opportunities just rolled in literally in my lap. And that's how I have found it works when you tap into that magic of fun. And before I was tapping into pleasure, but pleasure is fun's mama. That's how it would happen. These opportunities would just show up when I stopped trying to struggle and hustle it, and I just kind of went into the pleasure and ease. It invites and flow.
Mm, I love that. Another one of the concepts that is kind of around that is your idea of flossom.
Yes.
Like, we don't have to be perfect. We don't have to work really hard to get it all right. We are flossom. So, could you talk to us about that? I just love that word. I use it all the time.
I love it too. I should have worn my Flossom shirt. So it's not my concept. I didn't make it up, but it's basically that even though things are flawed, they're awesome. And in fact, I like to look at it like that Japanese pottery style where they take broken pottery and put it back together with gold. It's more valuable because of the flaws, right? You can fall in love with the flaws. And I remember the first time I did a 3-day event, and I don't know, something got really messed up with the tech. And I looked and I could have been mortified and went, oh no, like totally different, like the slide was effed up or something. But I just threw my hands up in the air, kicked my leg back and went, some, and I said it's okay. It's like being a goddess, being a human on this journey. We don't have to do it perfectly. And there are going to be mistakes. There will be mistakes. There will be boo-boos and flaws. And it is awesome in not just despite it, but because of it. I'll talk about a different event that I did where the tech was really messed up that first morning, and we kept having these like flossom incidents. And so at first I started to say it, then I made them say it with me. I'm like, flossom. Okay. Then it kept going. I said, okay, now when it happens, we're going to use any flossomness as an invitation or excuse to party. Like we've just won the lottery, like everything's working out. So something would come like, blossom, and we'd all go, just like, then they were waiting for it. They're like, "Oh my gosh, I hope there's a mistake coming up. So we're gonna party." And then the tech got sorted, but it was, it's that invitation that when those things happen, our normal inclination might be go, "Oh no, it's the end of the world. It's so bad." But when you can just go, "No, this is blossom." Party. You party with it, you play with it, you enjoy it, you up level because of it. That's how you have fun with flossomness.
I love that. I love that. Monique, we could just keep talking forever, and we do. But for the show today,
That we
for
do.
the show, for the show today, we have to stop for now. So before we say goodbye to everybody, let's go through our fun laser round, okay?
Okay.
So what's your go-to song when you need an instant joy boost?
Okay. Groove is in the heart. Delight. I put
Okay.
that now. I cannot not dance if I hear that song.
Awesome. And what's one totally silly thing that never fails to make you laugh?
Oh, my puppy, Woody,
Yes.
especially when he does this silly, like lying on his back, kind of, dancing thing. It's hilarious. So cute.
He is really cute. Um, so finish this sentence. Bliss for me looks like.
Bliss for me looks like enjoying life even in the midst of a storm.
I love that. What's the best way for listeners to connect with you and find out more about your book, Fun is the Way?
Yes. So you can connect with us at funandbliss.com, and you can connect with me at moniquehalm.com. And there it'll be information about the book and also some goodies you can get for free.
I love that. Monique, is there anything you'd like to say before we close?
Just continue to have fun and subscribe. Keep coming back because we're gonna have a lot more fun on this show.
Yeah, and we want to spend that time with you and share the fun with you. So
Yes.
thank you so much for listening in today, for being part of this amazing interview with my wonderful friend Monique. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. And we are going to play the Fun and Bliss song after this. So stay tuned, dance it out, and we'll see you next week and have fun. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Fun and Bliss Show.
Where fun is our practice.
And bliss is our lifestyle.
If this episode sparked your joy,
Share it, subscribe, and join the movement.
stay fun
Stay blissful.
and see you next time.